everybody, it's Ian the Off-Kilter Crafter. I hope you're having a great day today. Today I'm going to be using a brand new stencil. I bought this when I was in Portland from the store Collage. If you live in the Portland area, I'm sure you already know about this store. It is quite amazing and they have quite a selection of crafting tools and crafting supplies and just about anything that you can think of. It's not like a Michael's or a Joann's or anything like that. It's kind of mom and pop style, I guess, is how you would explain it. But it's a really great location and lots of crafty things. And I also liked it because I saw a lot of things that I couldn't get at Michael's or Joann's. So I definitely recommend if you are traveling to the Portland area or if you live in the Portland area and you don't know about it already, make sure to go check it out at Collage. A lot of fun stuff out there. They have 3 locations and an outlet, so go check that out. I will make sure to put a link to their website down in the description below, so make sure to go check them out. So I'm opening up this brand new stamp that I got while I was in Portland. I couldn't leave the store without it. I saw so much potential with this one, and this is from Prima, and it's Elementals. This is the Stencil Bubbles. And let's go ahead and open it up. As you can see, they have a couple other ones. This was $6.25 at Collage. And I really hope I can maybe find the stars as well. I think that would be a fun stencil to use. I'll put that over there for now, just throw that wherever I can. It's a typical stencil, nothing too special about it, but what I love about this one is I think I can really rearrange it in different ways to get different patterns and stuff like that. So we're going to kind of play around with that today. I'm going to use a 110-pound cardstock. This is Nina's Solar White. This is my favorite. If you've been on my channel before, you know this is my favorite cardstock to use. But I'm going to be using it again today. And I'm also going to be using some Distress inks with it. I'm going to be using Twisted Citron, Worn Lipstick, Wilted Violet, and Peacock Feathers. I thought this would be a really cool kind of pastel or spring look to it. I haven't quite figured out the sentiment or what I want to put on it or anything like that, but we're going to go ahead and experiment with this bubble stencil and see what we get. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything arranged and ready to go. Alright, I've gone ahead and masked off the back side of my card. I don't want any of the stencil heading over there, so I want to make sure that that stays in place. I should have, if you condition tape by like putting it on your arm or whatever, it makes it less sticky so it's easier to pull off. I'm kind of hoping it doesn't tear my cardstock, but even if it does, it's not a big deal. And if that happens, I can show you how to fix it. Hopefully it won't though. I am using the Ken Oliver Most Incredible Craft Mat Ever or something of that nature. I think that's what it's called. So my tape does not stick very well to this mat, which is a great thing in most cases, but I really want it to stay stuck down so that way the stencil doesn't shift around. But unfortunately that's what we got, so that's what we're going with right now. I'm gonna go ahead and start ink blending, and I think I'm gonna start off with Worn Lipstick. These are Distress Oxides. Love how these blend. They blend so beautifully, so let's go ahead and get to it. I can't remember if I said it or not. I'm using an ink blending tool to apply the color onto the card, and I'm just gonna be going around in circles. I may not even fill the entire card up with the bubbles. I may just kind of put it in certain areas and work my way around that way. I don't know. I haven't quite decided yet. I think this is going to end up with like a bokeh effect, which would be really cool. But we'll kind of play around and just see what happens. I love the Distress Oxides. I've said this a million times over and y'all know this, but I love the Distress Oxides because of how well they blend out. I think I literally just said that a moment ago before I started doing this, but I really am impressed, and it takes a lot to impress me, but Tim Holtz has done it again with these Distress Oxides. I actually think I might like them a little bit more than the Distress inks, which if you've played with Distress inks, you know how amazing those are. But I'm really interested to see how these layer on top of each other whenever we're doing this bokeh effect. So let's see what happens. Alright, I've gone ahead and moved my stencil around, so I now have a different layout for the bubbles, and I'm going to apply some Peacock Feathers next, and we're going to see what it does. First of all, to the pink, I'm very interested, I should say, to see what happens whenever we apply the Peacock Feathers on top. Oh, that's very interesting. Look at that. That's really fun. So as you're doing this, you're going to get some of the original colors, because I think no matter what place we put this stencil down, you'll still get some of that color coming through from the pink ones or the underneath layers. So I think no matter what we do, we're still going to be able to see all the colors, but sometimes they're going to be a little muted or changed because you're looking at them through a different color. Okay, I've gone ahead and rotated my stamp again, and my theory is turning out correct about this, or did I say stencil? I may have said stamp. Anyways, my theory is correct about this stencil. It does have a rotational factor to it, so I'm able to rotate it around, and each time I rotate it, I'm getting a little bit of a different stencil, and it's really helping out to break everything up and getting some really good color. I really am liking it so far, and I'm loving where this is kind of going. So I can't wait to see, once we get the final one in place, what it looks like, but I'm very happy with the results so far. Okay guys, here's the final reveal. I'll be honest, as I've been doing this technique, I've been kind of worried, because when you look at it like this, it looks like you're blocking out all of the colors from previous, so it makes me really nervous whenever I'm looking at it, because I feel like I've muted everything that I did before this. Oh, but that is so cool looking. I really like that a lot. So that is an awesome card. I love that already. It is very busy, but a lot of fun. I'm going to set this to the side, and we're going to clean up the space, and then once I do that, we'll continue on. Next up, I'm going to use my stamp set from Concord & Ninth. This is the Everyday Greetings stamp set. And I think I'm going to use the You're the Best Ever for this greeting. I think that one's going to work out nicely. I like how big and bold it is on this one, so I'm going to get everything kind of lined up, and I'm going to use my Tim Holtz stamp platform to go ahead and stamp it out. Now here's a weird thing. If I put this right in the center of the card, most people would think that that would be fine and that there wouldn't be a big deal, and that your eye would perceive it as being in the center. But for some reason, the human brain likes to have things a little higher than centered. I don't know why that is. It's very strange to me, but every time I look at a card, I always am looking for it. Whenever it's centered, it looks a little weird. So I think we're gonna go somewhere about there. I hope that is I hope that's straight and level, but if not, you know what, it doesn't really matter because it's handmade, and I think that'll be fine. So I'm going to use some VersaFine ink, and this is a very nice intense black ink for stamping with, and I'm doing it on my platform just to make sure I get a good coverage, so if I need to stamp it twice, it stays in the same place and won't go anywhere, which is really great. So let's go ahead and stamp that down. Make sure to run my fingers all over it to really press down on it. And it looks pretty good, but I think I would like to go a little bit more. I want to make sure it's all the way in the corner again, and we'll add a little more ink on top. Now that I've got that all stamped out and the ink is still wet, I'm going to use some embossing powder in the clear variety from Ranger. You know what? I didn't get that centered, darn it. That's okay. I have an idea that might be able to cover up that mistake. Alright, some of you out there may be concerned because I've accidentally stamped my greeting a little too far to the right. It's off center. It's not perfect. First of all, I want everybody to remember, don't panic. If this happens to you, there are ways of fixing it. Now, obviously you can't re-stamp it and re-emboss it, but there are other ways to mask your problem, or I shouldn't say problem, your creative choices whenever doing crafting. So I think for this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my Scotch adhesive double side roller. This one is in the shape of stars. It may be kind of hard to see on camera, but this, whenever you use it, comes out in a star shape. I'm gonna combine that with some of the Mink from Heidi Swap, the foil. I think this will make a great addition to the card, and I think it's gonna really look great. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look for a scrap piece of paper, Alright, it took me a second to find my scrap paper, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get it started on the scrap paper. And it may be hard to see on camera, but these little stars are actually showing up on this piece of paper over here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and do it right in the center here. I'm going to start off of my cardstock and slowly, very, very slowly, roll down just like that. Now I'm a little bit worried because I'm noticing that my stars are very interestingly shaped in some places. I'm wondering if this adhesive may not be good anymore, but you know what? It's a little too late for that. So let's check in here and grab out a piece of foil. We'll cut a piece off and lay it across and see what happens. Okay, so I've cut my piece of foil off. I'm gonna lay this right across where those stars are, and I'm going to push down with my fingers to adhere the foil onto the stars. And I'm already seeing that some of the stars did not lay down like they were supposed to. It came off perfectly on my piece here, and I'm wondering if the moisture from the Distress Oxides may have played a factor. We will see. Let's peel it up and see what we got. You know what? That's not horrible. I'm not offended by that at all, actually. I think that kind of looks neat. It is a little more distressed than what I would have liked. I would have liked a more solid image, but it's honestly not that bad, so I think I'm going to keep it that way. And I think to make it a little even, a little more even I should say, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my panel and I'm going to run it along the bottom here as well. Yeah, I don't think that roller likes the Distress Oxides at all. It is not sticking very well to it. Actually, as I'm looking at the panel here, I'm noticing the areas where it did not stick were where the Distress Oxides were. I'm pretty sure that those areas had more ink on them, so that they just didn't stick as well. That's not a big deal though. I think, honestly, this came out pretty good. So this definitely wasn't what I envisioned when I started the card, but I really like it, and I like the happy accidents that kind of happen with it with the foiling. I think the foiling is going to really catch their eye whenever they open it up, and I really like it. So that's today's card. I hope you enjoyed watching me put this together, and I hope it inspires you to check out some new products or play with some new ideas. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that button down below that says subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and get great updates every time I post a new video by clicking that bell icon. You can also get notifications when I go live as well. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. That lets YouTube know that you liked my video, and then hopefully they'll share it across YouTube land. You can also get social with me on my social media links. Those are listed down in the description below. Make sure to go check those all out and get social with me. I definitely enjoy getting social with y'all, so make sure to check out my social media links. I hope everybody has a great day. Remember guys, keep it off kilter. Bye!